everybody, welcome back to Tim and Tim Talk. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we have a great episode in store for you. As always, I cannot do this without my co-host, Mr. Tim Kerbavis. Welcome, Tim.
Tim K, pleasure to be here with you. It is great to join you remotely in a virtual event world from Sacramento, California.
That's the only way that we're doing these things right now. We are still in the depths of the virtual world, and we love it. Now, listen, our first episode was a really big hit. We had some great feedback, but some of the people were sort of like, questioning, like, where did you guys come from? Did we just show up on the scene, Tim? Tell me a little bit about who are these guys? We get asked that all the time.
So I can tell you a little bit. I'm Tim Kerbavis. I'm the owner of Talon Entertainment Audiovisual in Sacramento, California, as I mentioned. And really, I focus on a mix of large and small events, but providing high quality technical production. So I work with clients like UC Davis and large tech companies to produce events online and in person. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So we do events in San Francisco and the Bay Area, travel throughout the world. We also work with the tech companies, a bunch of UCs. I would say some of our highlights and our funnest jobs that we have had the opportunity to work with, working with the Warriors, having Steph Curry on there. But one that is very, very relevant to today is working with the President of the United States, Joe Biden. It was absolutely an honor and a privilege to work with him. Feel free to check that out on the website if you're interested. So Tim, that's just kind of a little bit about, we've been here before virtual events have actually started.
Yeah, right. We've been both working in this space with video for long before we were in the virtual event only world. And, we both got some perspective on kind of that transition into the virtual event space, which brings us to our first topic, right?
About being dinosaurs in the industry. No, wait, that is not our...
Right.
That is not our first topic. This first topic is about cameras. And this is the position that I entered the industry in as a camera op. So absolutely near and dear to my heart. And Tim, if I can be honest with you right now, what I am seeing out there in the camera world is akin to the Wild West of cameras. It is unbelievable. The chaos of cameras. How can we fix this, Tim? What do we do?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things, everyone's using webcams when they're presenting remotely, and for the most part, right, when they're just left to their own devices, they're using their laptop camera. Laptop cameras vary so much from computer to computer, and people's setups vary from, room to room, home to home. And, if we could just kind of give a little bit more consistency to their productions, something that's really easy, if we can ship a camera kit, whether that's as simple as just matching laptops and external webcams with like a lapel microphone for everybody, or whether that's, a much more robust kit, and we'll get into some more details on that. If you just get people matching technology, it's going to make sure that your images match much closer.
It's absolutely just basically creating some unity in there, right? Because the problem is a lot of the web cameras, if folks are on a laptop, they have a sort of angle that they're fixed at looking at. Their microphone, their laptops may be at different depths. And really, audio is such an important feature that you need to have that microphone closer. So by now making your microphone wired and connected to the body, it's going to actually, there's a saying that we like to say in production, audio is 70% of what you see. Because if you can't hear the person, you really can't see the person.
That's really true, Tim.
So cool. So what are we going to jump right into the presenter kits here? Where should we go with this, Tim?
Well, I think we want to talk about kind of range of options. So I mentioned kind of the idea of just shipping matching laptops. But what if we want to upgrade beyond just, a laptop webcam? What if we want to go to something a little fancier? One thing that's an option, and I know you and I have a little disagreement on this, but one thing that's an option is using cell phones. For the NFL draft, they shipped everyone iPhones and put those up and had a specialized camera app to broadcast quality video from the iPhone back to the control room. Now, I know, I can hear you objecting already, Tim. iPhones don't necessarily work for every production, and they don't necessarily work when you're presenting content because you're not going to have the return video from the slides on your little small iPhone screen. But it's an interesting option for a time when you need a small, portable, high-quality camera.
I object. Wait, no, actually, you hit all my objections, right? So it's going to be a good use case for when, you maybe the NFL, and you need to send out dozens and dozens of these, and you've pre-configured them, which is
Right.
actually similar to what you want to do on a laptop or camera. You want to have everything sort of pre-configured.
Exactly. With any of these options, it's going to be something, particularly when you're shipping it to somebody, in the mail or FedEx. You really got to make sure it's going to come out of the box ready to go.
use. We're going
One-
to talk more
one
about this, the
option-
talent not being the technician in a little bit.
Exactly. But one option, if you want a little more polish, Tim, I think you have some visual aids for
Oh, I
us.
do. I'm excited. Listen, the cameraman at heart in here. So this is our fun little one right here. This is the A7S II. So this camera, we actually, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see like we just create like little 30 seconds, 60 seconds videos. We use this, super simple, super easy to use. If you were to use this as a web camera, it would be fantastic. If you notice right on top here, there's the microphone, right? Don't ever use these internal microphones. They're literally what's called scratch microphones. They're just sort of to have a concept of audio that you then sync to a better microphone like this, or to like the lavalier that I'm wearing right here. But that's not it. Here's the other one, Tim. This is
No, we have bigger options, bigger and better
bigger
options,
and
Tim.
better. Listen, so we've actually used these for, this is actually for an executive level event that we did, and they sort of like, what are your better options? And this right here, you get to use the full depth of glass, and you get sort of the latest and greatest in camera technology here. But the beauty, Tim, about whether you're going something big or small, or even if it's just a web camera, all of these technologies can be brought into a platform like Zoom. Let's let the audience in on a little bit of a secret right now.
Are we giving away our secrets already, Tim? We're giving our secrets?
You know what? Let's just do it. We're here to give them away
All right.
here.
All right.
As you can see right here, this is basically consumer level headphones that we're using right here. That's how I'm listening to you through Zoom. And on the other side is a camera basically similar to this. So these are technologies that you can just, use. Well, actually, don't we have a video that we can sort of, I think I drew the short end of the stick on this one too.
Yeah, you get to be the talent on that. Let's play this video and see kind of what an example of a more robust, broadcast camera package could look like. Look, Tim, a familiar face. Here you are pushing a camera kit into someone's house. This is a kit that uses broadcast cameras, obviously some microphones, lighting, a bunch of other tools there, following safety protocols to make sure that both talent and technician are safe, but really providing a high quality broadcast experience using professional equipment and techniques, but still going through a conference call link, so you get that two-way connection. Obviously, that providing support, providing hands-on audio mixing and technology support gives you a much better view than obviously this webcam comparison here of the same
Yeah,
shot.
you can really see
So
in that shot right there, like the difference of the angles, right? When you put the camera up low or the camera up
Definitely.
high, big difference.
Right, a big difference. Obviously, you have the option here to use other kinds of cameras. We've got some robotic cameras as an option. Wireless cell phone links to give backup. Obviously, you can use regular conference call technology like Zoom or Skype or Meet or Teams, things you're already used to. Providing extra features like teleprompters and controlling it all from a central studio gives you a much better quality production and consistent look between presenters. So you've got a lot of control and you can get a really high quality production.
So that's really cool, right? So there's a lot of, basically we're sort of showing everybody like what is like sort of like the top feature out there. Now you can just use that camera and go directly to Zoom. You don't necessarily need to have a switcher like we just shown in that example. But the advantage is, like we just did a show where we sent out 6 different camera kits, at the same time, and it was executive level panel. And so now we get to sort of cut it in a webinar feature. And the other cool thing is too, so we've increased the quality of it. We saw some of that other technology where if Wi-Fi is bad or if the internet is bad, we can jump over to cellular. So, and the last thing too is also a teleprompter that you saw, quickly over there. But like, let's not like overshadow like what that is. That is basically what was that was a whole giant production truck gone all the way shrunk down into one cart.
Yeah, and the reality, Tim, is with this technology, with just the breadth of technology that's available today, we can get a high quality, low cost production that rivals productions with a satellite truck without any of that technology needed.
Yeah, and the advantage, Tim, of when you use sort of like the next level production, like we just shown in that video, is that the talent does not need to become the technician. When you send out basically like the option number one, where it's a web camera and a microphone, you have to spend a fair amount of time with the talent to get everything working, and it distracts them. I've been on some shows where, let's just be frank, the talent was sort of intimidated by the technology, and anything you send is going to fluster them from being, when they get on camera. So by having, sending a technician out there, it really takes so much burden off of the talent. Do you agree with that?
But I agree. And even if you aren't sending a technician, having people available for tech support is really important. That when you're shipping information or when you're shipping equipment rather to your presenters, make sure that you're there to walk them through it, whether that's on a conference call or in person.
Be prepared to support them, I think, is the message, right? Be prepared to support them either virtually or in person. In person is better if that person feels comfortable and if the proper PPE is being worn and utilized.
And with that, Tim, I think we're all out of time.
Listen, there's so much more, Tim, that we could have talked about. But listen, if you, the audience, have a specific question, or we should have breached the subject for you, but you have something of a follow-up, when you hit us on one of the socials here, you see it below. Go ahead, reach out to us. Also, if you have an event coming up and you think, like one of your colleagues or one of your friends can benefit from this information, we're completely shareable. And hit that like button on the platform. Show us some love. We also appreciate that too. So with that, I am Tim K with Argus HD.
And I'm Tim Kerbavas with Talent Audio Visual. And we talked. See you next time.